Good evening, all my students and everybody who is in trucking. It's me, Alex, your sassy dispatch girl and your sassy instructor. Well, today is a new topic. I am here on a mission together with you guys to change trucking for better. I'm going to give few seconds for all of my students and viewers to join me. So let's watch our new commercial about upcoming classes, and I'll see you in 30 seconds. And I am back. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, in trucking industry, when you guys going to start being a dispatcher, you're going to have to learn how to deal with some situations and how to get paid for the things which you sometimes not in control, right? So we're going to be talking today about what is a detention, what is a layover, what is tonal, what is the difference between this, and hopefully I can help you to find out what the dispatcher has to do, what the driver has to do, what the terminology is involved, and how you can become better. So I hope you guys are going to be asking some questions, but we would like to start already. So, what does it mean, detention? In trucking, what does it mean, detention time? Well, this means that your driver went to shipper or receiver and he was held there for longer than what, for example, estimated. And you know what? In the trucking industry, we would like to have standards 2 hours in, 2 hours out. So if your driver was waiting at the warehouse for loading or unloading more than the standards, usually you will request detention. So let's see. Detention can be at both sides. When you go to load at shipper and when you unloading at receiver. So when you're going to be asking to start detention, you have to make sure that you tell your broker, was it occurring on loading or unloading sign? So this is you as a dispatcher have to establish that. When you're going to be writing email, dear Mike, please start detention on loading sign. Dear Mike, please start detention on unloading side. You need to be specific about this. Okay? Well, let's continue. What is driver has to do and what is dispatcher has to do when detention occurs? Let's see. As a dispatcher, first, you have to make sure, guys, you are keeping your eye on schedule, on transit. You need to make sure, is your driver on time? Did he check in on time? Was he late or not? Let's pretend this is a perfect scenario. Your driver was not late. So that means that he checked in for his appointment time. And we're not talking about first come, first serve. We're gonna catch up on this in few seconds. So let's say it's by appointment. Your driver is supposed to pick up a load at 9:30 a.m. He did check in on time. He might even check in earlier. So let's pretend 9:30 a.m. The shipper and receiver gives you approximately 2 hours before the detention will occur. And again, it depends on equipment, and every shipper and receiver has a different rules, and you need to make sure you read your rate confirmations. So you as a dispatcher, after your driver check in on time, you should start checking on him. When hour and a half goes by, you're gonna ask him, well, did you receive the doc? Are they loading you? You're not gonna wait 2, 3, 4 hours and then you're gonna ask. Usually, after 1 hour, I like to text my driver and say, do you have a doc? And they're gonna respond to me, yes or no. If he does not have a doc yet, I am personally trying to call shipper or receiver to find out what's going on. Why do you want to do that? Well, you want to do that to understand, is there a problem with their facility today? Maybe they are overbooked. Maybe the product is not ready. Why is it so important? Let's say you unloading, right? And the facility is overbooked or they have no space for your product. Don't you think you would like to know about this ASAP? Because you might have already second load you need to pick up in few hours. So when you realistically know that, well, unloading is going to take way longer, it's not just about the tension at this point, right? It's about what? Maybe pushing your load to pick up later, or maybe even canceling the load and trying to find a new load, right? So let's go back to this picture. Well, what is the driver's duty? Well, driver has always to be as a teammate to you, right? He has to give you updates. Well, facility is busy. Well, I don't have a doc yet. Well, I have a doc, but they did not start it yet. So he needs to tell you what's going on. Because again, why? He is there. He is at facility. You are sitting somewhere in your office or sometimes even outside of the country, or you work from home. Can you imaginary know what's going on with this facility if your driver does not want to cooperate and help you out? Well, telling you again, guys, you are on the same side of this industry. Dispatcher and driver are same team. So having a responsible driver is going to help you as a dispatcher to do your job better. So both of you, you need to start detention. I want you to pay attention to this. Drivers must accept micropoint. What is a micropoint? Well, we have the third-party apps which are sent to your driver. That's why they ask driver's name, driver's phone number, right? Truck number, trailer number. For what? Because they want to make sure they can track your driver. That's called micro tracking. It can be micro tracking. It can be four kites, different names. Those are the names of the same product. Tracking your driver via satellite over his phone. Again, another big problem in the industry. Drivers do not want to cooperate. Why? Because they're telling you, well, this is my privacy. I don't want them to track my phone. I am not going to accept micropoint. Most likely, your loads are going to be canceled last minute. Most likely, your detention is not going to be approved because your driver refused to accept micro tracking. And again, as a business owner and as a dispatcher, I want to make sure that we're on the same page. So if you have a driver who has a problem with tracking his personal phone, maybe as a company owner, you need to provide him with an extra phone. Problem solved. But it cannot become an issue every day because, guys, nowadays 90% of the brokers, they want to make sure they are tracking the driver before he checks in and after he loads, during the transit, and when he checks into a receiver. And then after load is done and you guys close it, they're gonna stop tracking. Do they have rights to do that? Of course they do, guys. That's their cargo, right? That's their product. Shippers, receivers, they have rights to know where their cargo. Insurance companies would love to know in case of what? Of accidents, of stolen cargo. They need to make sure that the cargo is trackable. So unfortunately, this is the industry standards, and your driver should not have a problem with that. Let me see who is watching me, and we're gonna continue. So what happens when you deadhead to the shipper upon there's no tonal load cancel? Well, easy, we're gonna get to this. We're starting with detention, layover, and we'll get to tonal in few seconds. Wow, hello Bibi. How to buy your book? I did not write a book yet, but you guys can sign up for my classes. Hi Crystal, did not see you for a long time, 2 weeks, so I miss you. Who else we have? We have Sheila. Hi Alex. So let's continue. Both of you have to start detention. Do you have to start detention only via phone, or should you have email? Well, my recommendation, you have to have proof that you contacted the broker and you told them, well, Mike, you know what? It's been already 2 hours. My truck is not unloaded. We need to start detention. Your driver has to call too sometimes. And I like my drivers to call because they're right there. So you need to start detention. Why? Because a lot of times brokers will not pay you because you did not start detention. Even if you had a micro tracking, right? They will say rate confirmation states if you occur in any detention, you have to call brokerage ASAP and tell us the detention is starting. Why? Well, because the good broker, do they want to pay extra money? No. The good broker is going to try to figure out what's going on at shipper and receiver, right? Because they want to make sure, especially if you are picking up load for them and you have transit you need to make, right? They want you to get out. So the good broker will help you. He's going to ask you what? Does your driver has a dock? So as a dispatcher, make sure you have the dock number, right? You give them the dock number. Are you going to just leave it at this? No, give them 10, 15 minutes. Call, follow up with email, right? Ask your driver to tell you what's going on. And then if broker is not really helping you and just telling you, well, just keep the hours in and out time and we'll see how it goes. Well, guys, don't be a desperate dispatcher. Start calling shipper and receiver. You have pickup number. You have PO number. You know which dock is your driver is. So ask them, can I have an update? When is my driver going to be loaded, right? And usually, guys, nowadays, we have a really good excuse, not really excuse. We have mandatory rules that we have ELDs, hours of service. Our ELDs connected to the engines of the truck. Our drivers cannot fake it anymore. I mean, we still have people who do fake it, but most of you guys are not faking this because it's impossible, right? It's not like it's used to be paper logbooks, throw them in the garbage, keep going. So this becoming a problem, detention. So let's go back. Both of you did your job, right? You started detention, you and your driver. So now what other responsibilities are for you and the driver? Well, first, your driver has to put in and out time on bill of lading. Lots of places, they have stamps with time in, time out. If your driver is delivering to facility which does not have the timestamp, make sure he asks shipper or receiver to put time in or out. But again, do they really want to do that? No, because they do not want to pay that extra money, right? In this case, what is your driver does? He writes in and out time on the first page of his BOL. So let's say in time 9:30, out time at 2:30. Okay? What do you have to do as a dispatcher? Well, you need to submit paperwork, right? So now your BOL is becoming what? POD. We're going to see the next slide, right? And it's becoming proof of delivery. So BOL is bill of landing with a stamp. After you guys delivered, it's becoming POD. As a dispatcher, you're gonna take the scan, full scan of POD with in and out time written by your driver, or if it has a timestamp, you just have to look what time did he check in, what time he check out, right? And you need to send it to the broker. And what do you need to ask? Well, dear Mike, please send me revised rate confirmation with detention occurred on loading. And you're going to say how many hours. So let's think about it. If your appointment was 9:30 and in this facility they do not pay attention for 3 hours and you got out at 3 p.m., how many hours of detention are we requesting? Well, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, that includes in your rate confirmation. So those hours are not countable, right? So 9:30, okay, 10:30, 11, 12:30. So then we have 1:30, 2:30, and let's say 3. So we're going to be requesting 2.5 hours detention. Are we clear on this? So if you were unloading there, the first 3 hours are not going to be paid as detention because at this shipper or receiver, it was actually their standards, it's 3 hours. And we're going to talk about this. Let's say hi to a few more students. Hi, Cassandra. How are you? Hi, Carla. I am newer to the channel. Love the info. Thank you so much. Here's all my students. Hi, Carmen. How are you? I know you guys all waiting for homework. I just wanted to give you a little break. So you are receiving test already and you're going to receive everything else tonight. I did not want to overwhelm. Hi, Alex, Andy. You are the best. Thank you so much. We have Julian and everybody else. Well, let's keep going. So now you requested the revised rate confirmation, right? So let's just confirm for people who are new to this. What is a rate con in trucking? Well, rate confirmation, this is a contract between carrier and broker where all of this should be specified, right? So, for example, you pick and upload in Chicago at 7 o'clock today at certain shipper, your commodity, your pickup number, you're going to deliver tomorrow in Memphis, Tennessee. You have first come, first serve facility. So that means that it's open. You don't really have time. You're getting paid $2,500. So this is a rate. And for example, it's going to be specifying what type of equipment, drive-in, reefer, how heavy is the load, and all the instructions you're going to give to your driver. So rate confirmation have a different names, right? My students already know. Usually in trucking, we do not have time. We talk really fast. So we abbreviate some things. So rate confirmation usually is going to be RC. So please, Crystal, sign a RC, send me updated COI, and don't forget NOA. So what did I just say? Crystal already knows. She took my classes. She knows that she needs to sign rate confirmation. She needs to send updated certificate of insurance. And also she needs to probably provide updated notice of assignment for her new factoring, right? So what happens? So this is the names: load tender, freight movement, load agreement, load confirmation. All of this, it means rate confirmation. I just want you to understand that this is legal contract. You guys enter in legal contract, which can be brought to court, right? If something's gonna go wrong. So broker is hiring you as a motor carrier to move freight from A to B. They are paying you, right? Because you are common carrier for hire. You're getting compensated. You need to provide correct equipment. You need to make sure that your drivers follows any specific instructions. You need to follow rules. When are you picking up? When are you delivering? So you need to honor the transit. If something's going on, you have to update the broker. And also, if you guys getting lumper charges or detention or layovers, you need to discuss this. And then you as a dispatcher, you're gonna get what? Revised rate confirmation. So rate confirmation, that's original agreement. Revised rate confirmation, look at this, can have all different things. So something changed. Let's say, for example, oh, hi, Caprian, how are you doing there in Romania? We did not hear from you for a long time. It says that for reefer and 2 hours for dry van. That's what the standards of industry. But again, every shipper and receiver has a different rules, same as the brokers. Sometimes brokers are gonna state in the rate confirmation, we're not paying detention. We are paying detention after 4 hours. This facility, we're not paying detention. And if you guys been watching me, you remember, for example, if we dealing with a produce, with a fresh produce, usually they say, well, detention is not gonna get paid, right? Unless you go into the next step, layover. Hi, Alex. Hi, Talisha. Oh, cannot wait to see you in a new class. Yes, we start in the new class on the 13th. Hi, how are you guys? Thank you so much for watching and supporting us. Make sure to put the likes and share our videos. The more likes we get, the more people gonna see us on YouTube. Thank you so much for your support. So let's go back. Revised rate confirmation can be due to what? Lumper charges, right? Loading, unloading. So you pay the third party, the broker is gonna reimburse you with what? With proof of receipt, right? You need to have correct, valid receipt that you paid exactly for the lumper. So as a dispatcher, you're gonna ask again, hey, Mike, please send us revised rate confirmation for detention for 3 hours on loading side, plus unloading detention for 1 hour, and lumper charges that our driver pay. So see, you guys can have so many different things in the revised rate confirmation, but make sure that you are specifically telling them what are you requesting. Okay, because sometimes if you just send email to the broker, please send me revised confirmation with what is a revised confirmation due to? Due to just because, well, I am the best dispatcher. Why don't you add me in another $200, right? No, is it valid? Not really valid request. But what if your driver stay longer? So he stayed longer at the facility. But before we're gonna go to next level, I want you to just make sure you guys understand this. So again, proof of delivery is what? This is BOLs with that stamp. So you guys already delivered the load, right? Let's see. Right here, I put it actually 2 times with a bigger letters that people who are new into this, they can really understand. So first, we get BOL. You know what? I had my drivers drop in my BOLs today. You know what? I'll show you. Sorry, guys. I like to. So look, bunch of BOLs. So what is a BOL? For example, this is a BOL, right? So this has 3 pages. It has 3 pages. And in this case, we also have lumper. Who paid the lumper? Our driver paid the lumper. So this is the receipt for the lumper. We have 3 pages of BOLs. But now, since I already have the stamp, see the stamp, it was delivered. I have no OS&Ds. No overage, no shortage, no damage. I'm also suffering with the light. It goes so bright into my eyes. I need to order special light for the lights right now because now we don't have beautiful sunsets anymore. So what did I have to do? My driver paid $57.75. I had to ask for revised rate confirmation because my driver paid, right? So I email, it was actually C.H. Robinson, and asked them, please send me revised confirmation. I attached this as a scan, and they sent it to me, right? And they added $57. Let's see. This is BOL, right? Now it's POD because it's a stamp. One page. So what we were holding? Well, we had pumpkin pies. Well, probably because of all the Halloween and Thanksgiving coming up, right? So pumpkin pies. This is a reefer load, right? Let's see one more. How many pages do we have here? Well, we have a lot, right? We have a lot. Let's see if this one has in and out time. Yes, it tells us exactly when the driver check in and check out. We have stamps right here. And we also have what? We have the stamp for Walmart. So we have an extra page given to the driver with in and out time. So it tells that he arrived at 18:08 and he got it loaded at 18:59. Wow, pretty fast for Walmart. You know what, guys? I'm gonna 30 seconds for our new webinar coming up, and I'm gonna adjust my light because it's just hurting my eyes. Sorry about that. Okay, and I am back. So I feel better now with extra light on top of it. So let's continue. Somebody's asking me, Mia's asking, hi Alex, what do we do if broker refuse to provide revised rate confirmation for 15 hours of detention? Well, we are going now to something which we need to understand how long detention can be paid, right? First of all, let's figure out that detention is different for each broker. Some of them pay $25, some will pay $45, some of them pay $55, some pay $65, but no one goes over 8 hours of detention. So Mia, broker, none of the brokers I know in USA will pay you 15-hour detention. Why? Because after 6-8 hours, it's already going to be considering layover. And they're going to just give you certain amount. And we're going to talk about this. So if they're refusing to pay you, well, what can you do? Well, you can keep trying and asking them. It depends, how much was the load. And I wish... a lot of times I hear people tell, well, you have to put in against their bond. You have right to complain. Guys, I've been in this industry for a long time. Does not really help. And it's just honesty and dishonesty of this business. So what I would do, I would make sure I have all the paperwork. I would make sure that I have all the emails. I want to make sure that your driver did all those steps in and out time. I want to make sure that you started detention on time, not the next day, not 2 days later. And I would start contacting, hopefully, upper management. So if your broker is not willing to cooperate, it's always somebody above them, okay? But in the end of the day, it's honesty of the business, how they do this business, right? So, but Let's just pay attention. So detention usually up to 8 hours. After that, it's going to become layover. Okay. Let's answer a few more questions before I'm gonna. What is a lumper? Okay, somebody's asked. I think Carla Robinson asked, "What is a lumper?" Lumper, Lumpr. Carla, please watch. We had a great live few weeks ago about the lumpers and lumper services. So this is a third party loading, unloading your truck, and they're charging fee. As a carrier, you are not really paying, you're getting reimbursed. But to get reimbursed, you need to make sure you have valid receipts. In my company and everybody who I dispatch, I have one rule. I ask the drivers to get lumper from brokers. And in my class, we go in details why. First, because most of the rate confirmations are going to state make sure that all accessorial charges, including lumpers, are approved by broker first. So if you, as a dispatcher, or if your driver did not call, for example, TQL, Coyote, Convoy, did not ask them, are we really okay to pay $400? A lot of times, what's going to happen? You're going to pay $400. You're going to submit them receipt, and they're going to say, well, this is a high amount. It was not authorized. It was only authorized to $220. So now what? Now you're losing money. You're getting short pay. Whose fault is this? Well, actually, dispatcher has to read all the rate confirmations. And again, for people who are new to my channel and who are not really my students yet, hopefully soon, make sure you rewatch our previous live about what? Rate confirmation and how to read them. Okay? Let's see. It's hi Alex. Is it okay to ask broker upfront about detention pay before accepting the load? Actually, Janet, this is a practice which good dispatchers should do. So when you negotiate the load, when you talk about all the terms, you should ask, are there any late fees if we're going to be late? Are there any rescheduling fees? And what is your policy on detention? So Janet, yes, that would be one of those questions because you can hear right away. First, when the broker said, well, we usually don't pay detention at this shipper and receiver, or we are paying detention only after 6 hours, what does it mean? That means that this place, excuse my language, sucks. That means it takes too long to load or unload. So wouldn't it be smart to ask this while you're still negotiating? Yes, because Janet, you're going to become a pro dispatcher like me, right? You can hear in their voice when something does not make sense, right? You're going to start learning that you have guts. And when you're going to hear that, well, we don't pay attention on loading and unloading, well, it's going to take a little bit longer. Do you want to really deal with it? No, you're not a desperate dispatcher. How many loads do we have on the load board? Find a different one. Say, you know what? Let me think about it. I'll call you right back. I would like to verify some information. So again, asking about shippers and receivers, right? And knowing what they are. After a while, you guys are going to know them by names, by cities. It's going to take you a while. But if not, Google the names, right? Google. So who are we delivering? That's why when you're on the phone, take conversation over. Ask him maybe about the weather, how long he's been doing this. Why? Because you guys need that time. Maybe you need to Google that shipper and receiver, right? So that's what you do. So breathe in, breathe out, especially if they are calling you, because when they calling you, you have all the time, right? We've seen it in a class on Saturday. Every time they called us on Saturday, on Sunday actually, we took conversation over to our terms because they are calling us, right? Do you save all your live videos? Yes, they are on our YouTube. So make sure you subscribe. They are all there. So let's continue. So detention paid, it depends on the broker, different pay, but kind of the same rules. starting detention, submitting PODs within and out time. Look at that. I gave you some examples. The detention which I just got. So we had a load last week, right? Woodridge, Illinois, picking up at 3 o'clock, 1500. We were delivering straight through to Belvedere. So we're talking about 69 miles, right? 69 miles. Appointment was 20:00, so it's 8 p.m., right? 2000. So military time on both appointments. Make sure you guys pay attention. Who is not familiar with military time? Or it's 3 p.m. afternoon at 8 p.m. at night, straight through. Look, the rate was $1,000. Not bad, right? Not bad for 69 miles straight through after we deliver. And to make extra $1,000 for 69 miles, and we were only 5 miles away from pickup. But when we got there, what happened? Well, I can tell you what happened. They actually lied to us. You know why? Because they never made appointment for straight through. So appointment was made for next Friday. Now this great load is becoming a nightmare. Would I ever book the load picking up today and delivering tomorrow at 8 p.m.? Of course not. Well, I called the broker. We did not end that night on a good terms because he simply was lying to me, right? He did not even have a courage to tell me, well, let me try to figure this out. He was just blaming on who? On scheduler, right? Well, it's so easy to blame on somebody else. In this case, guys, now you're a dispatcher. Now your driver is there. The only hope and the only things you can do is just you as a dispatcher and your driver. So what did I had to do? I had to reach out to receiver. My driver had to show them the proof that yes, they did lie to us. I had to talk to somebody in receiving. I had to wait until shift changes at 8 o'clock, and it was a nice gentleman. I got lucky. He promised me he's going to unload my truck as soon as they can. Well, they unloaded the truck around 1 a.m., which is better than waiting till what? Till the next night. So now you a problem solver, right? I told you trucking is not easy. 8 p.m. on Friday night, right? Actually Thursday night, you're gonna be dealing with some situations like that. So that's why next day, after giving them a speech, and believe me, guys, I am direct. I will never book the load with them because I do not work with people who lie and who are looking for desperate dispatchers. Although I'm not a desperate dispatcher, but they simply lie because on BOL, it was stating that appointment was right away scheduled for the next day. That's why they were paying $1,000 for 69 miles. So they were looking for somebody who is not going to reach out and who simply is going to sit there. Next day, when I called him and I said, so what's going on? I already knew my truck is unloaded because I took care of the situation. He said, well, I'll pay you $500. And I honestly, I told him, you know what? You can keep your $500. Please send me additional $200 for detention, and I will never ever work with you. But that's what you guys do as a dispatcher, right? You try to solve it. Again, I have experience. I know how to reach out to people and tell them. And a lot of times, you guys need to just understand we all human beings. And when you reach out, you have to be honest and say, well, broker did lie to us. I have a driver who did the job. He's sitting there. He picked up on time. He delivered on time. He really needs to go home because actually his restart was starting. So I had to do this. And of course, 80% of the time, you're going to have another person who is also have a human values, right? And you're going to solve the problem. And 25% of the time, you're not going to get lucky. So is that something dispatcher done wrong? No, that's because brokers do lie to us. That's why remember, TBD, to be determined, appointment, never a good sign. And something which pays too good probably now I have to question 3 times. So what I'm going to start doing again, because I just trusted the guy. I was too busy with my students that day. I did not call receiver because that's what I do. So actually I did fail. That's probably was one of the loads. I did not call receiver to verify the appointment because I thought, what can go wrong? We go in 69 miles. So see, even me sometimes, I cannot get off of my own rules. So here I am, Alex, but at least I could have solved the problem, right? So admitting sometimes your own mistakes and making sure that you do your job. And your job as a dispatcher, verifying information. Your job as dispatcher, making sure that you do not load your truck unless you know for sure that you can deliver. But let's continue. So this is one example. So $200 was added. So in this case, it was revised rate confirmation. Look, another driver of mine. So convoy. So see how they specify? They added $200 for 300 minutes detention at what? At Kroger. So rate confirmation was $1,500. They are adding $200 because they go by 60 minutes. So they pay a certain amount. So 200 divided by what? By 6 hours, right? So I think it's what, $45 an hour or something like this. So this is again revised rate confirmation due to unloading at receiver. So this was receiver. A common Kroger is receiver. Let's see what else we have. Well, this is another example of revised rate confirmation for people who were asking what is a lumper is. So in this case, the rate confirmation was $3,100. Our driver paid the lumper. I provided the PODs with valid receipt for lumper. And now I revise rate confirmation with what? With payment back. Reimbursement for lumper paid by my driver. Okay, what else? TQL tells us that, and I took just like few brokers today. I opened few rate confirmations right before the class because guys, I had to prepare this slideshows in the last 15 minutes. I had a really busy day today. I had so many private consultation and dispatch, and so whatever I could have prepared in 15 minutes, I did it. So TQL says that you must to approve all accessorial terms, charges in advance and in writing. So do you see? In writing. For order of you to get compensating, look at this. To qualify for additional compensation, the carrier must notify TQL at least 30 minutes before beginning of detention time and when arriving on time departing from all shippers receivers, unless the shipper receiver will not take check-in time on paperwork. Again, how many shippers and receivers do not want to put in and out time? Why? Because they have to compensate brokers as well. Broker doesn't really pay out of his pocket. Broker has to request the detention from shipper and receiver. So all the shippers and receivers are like, no, we're not going to put time in and out because carrier doesn't have a proof that it took them 4 or 5 hours. So whose job is this? Both of you, driver and dispatcher. Start detention and have a proof, even if the driver has to just put in and out time. Let's answer a few questions before I'm gonna keep going. Thank you for the knowledge. Thanks. Ma'am, do you use TMS for managing your fleet? Which TMS do you recommend and what level a carrier should start using TMS? For example, after 40 trucks? No, I think if you have 3-4 trucks, you should start using TMS because that's going to be easy for invoicing. That's going to be easy for payroll. You can connect your ELDs. You can connect your fuel card, your factoring. You're going to know the profitability. So I don't care if you 1 truck or 2. If you are smart owner of the business, you wanted to use trucking management software to understand, are you making profit What needs to be changed? Maybe you paying too much for your drivers, because in those TMS, you can count everything, right? You can see your profitability, you can see your expenses. Plus, in America, we all have to make sure we have a record for whom? FMCSA, if we get audited, right? So if we have audit, you need to have the proof of all the receipts. For IFTA, audit for IFTA, for IRP. So isn't it smart to have everything in one system? The one I recommend, we have it on our website. Make sure you go to our partners. I'll show it in a second when we're going to be finishing up. We partner up with a UTEC. So far, I like them because they utilize a lot of things in one software. As an independent dispatch service, I can have different carriers in one system. That's why I like them. Instead of having 3 carriers on Prostrans, 3 carriers on something else, I just have all of them in one system. So that's why I like, and they actually let you do this. And I believe you can go up to 25 carriers, if not even more. Okay. Alexandra, thank you very much. This is my second day in this industry, and thanks to you, I got to know a lot. God bless you. Спасибо. Well, congratulations. Second day in business. It's usually hard, right? But look at the positive side. You already second day in business, so you survived the first day. So if you can survive the first day, that's what I tell my students. If you can survive first class, which very intense, when your head is spinning and you like, oh my God, what is this? You're spinning. You like, this is, I need to know this. I need to know the commodities. I need to know the density of population. Why she wants me to. If you can survive my class, you can succeed. So Emilio, if you survive your first day and you did not give up, you'll be okay. Okay, just keep watching. Make sure you rewatch. We have a lot of videos which were done before. Some of them had annoying music. Again, guys, you see me, I have no time to even go and get a good light, right? So it's kind of hard for me, again, because I don't really have a team who is going to make those professional videos. So sorry. Hopefully my sound is good and you just like the knowledge I'm giving you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Should broker charge late fee if the delay was a result of them taking too long to load us, and should they pay us detention? Well, again, if detention was occurred, they're going to pay us detention. Who's they going to charge late fee? In this case, no, Mia, they're not charging late fee. But let's talk about late fee right now for a second. So let's say you had appointment at 9 o'clock. In your rate confirmation, it says, if you arrive in late and you did not give us notice at least 1 hour prior you being late, late charges may occur. So let's say you as a dispatcher, you failed to do that because maybe you forgot to look at ELD, or maybe your driver does not update you, right? That happens a lot. I'm trying to change this industry, right? Because you guys have to be as a team. Or maybe he was held on a previous unloading for too long, so now you arrive in late. Again, if you did not discuss this with a broker, what's going to happen? They have all the rights to charge you late fee. And how are they going to do that? A lot of times, they're not going to send you revised rate confirmation. But what are they going to do? They're just going to short pay you. $100, $150, sometimes $250 due to being late. What if you are working truck? We had this happen on Sunday, right? Phone call. Well, you're going to be working truck. What does it mean? Working truck means that somebody booked this load, but they cancel. They cannot pick it up. That means working truck. Do I like this situation? Well, it depends on shipper and receiver. Sometimes busy facilities, it's going to become nightmare for you to be working truck because now you out of schedule. So they're gonna load you when they have time. And usually big facilities, they are on schedule. So sometimes you can be working truck and you're gonna sit there for 7-8 hours. The problem is not even gonna be for you sitting there, but how you're gonna make the transit. So a lot of times you really have to understand what is a transit, what is the price? And usually, if you are recovering trucks, right, you're going to charge more. And again, as a work-in, are you going to get paid for detention? No, because usually they already gave you extra money for being a working truck. If you are as a dispatcher, while you hear that you're going to be working truck, did not ask for more money, then it's on you guys. That means that you're not professional dispatcher yet. So then you cannot sit there and complain, oh my God, my truck is sitting there for 5-6 hours, because broker is going to tell you what? Well, Mia, I told you right away when I was booking this load that you're going to be working truck. So if you do not know the meaning of working truck, this is on you, Mia. Mia, sorry, I'm just speaking on you just because it's your question. It doesn't mean that you're going to do it, because I am more than sure that you're going to be as good as me very soon. So did I explain the situation? Now you understand detention and all this stuff, okay? Does the rate confirmation show if you will need a lumper, or will broker know when you call about the load? Sorry, just start watching. Most of the time when you book the load, brokers already know. The good dispatcher will always ask, are there any lumpers on loading or unloading? Because brokers have to know this, because that's when they agree to move freight. They know if their shipper has a lumper service. They approximately know how much they charges, because that's how they have their prices, right? They need to know what is involved. Oh, what is it? Ma'am, what is your opinion about Amazon load board? I watch most of your videos and mostly you use that load board. Well, my dear friend, Amazon booking is not a dispatch. It's just click and click and click. And that's why you don't watch me doing that, because I love negotiating. I love challenge with Amazon. When most of you outside of the country killing Amazon, it's not challenging for me. So no, I don't really work with Amazon. First of all, it's power only. Then it's no negotiation. So you cannot really connect better. You're not really using much of the logic. So that's why you don't see me doing that. But I know that some companies do a very good job with Amazon, because they're on time. They already went, because as many of you know, Amazon has a score system, and bunch of brokers, they also have a score system. So if you pick up on time, if you do a lot of volume, you're going to become, for example, XPO. They have bronze level, then they have silver and platinum. That means that some loads you're going to see faster. So, but that's Amazon for you. And let's continue. So we are going to the next slide. And for example, Delta Logistics, right? Telling you that all accessorial charges, lumper, escort fees must be reported within 48 hours or delivery for reimbursement. Again, you want to receive your money back, you need to submit PODs within 48 hours. If I could have seen you right now, everybody who is dispatching, I would like to see the hand. How fast do you do this? Well, in my class, we are learning this. That's how you're going to start your day. You're not going to start your day by posting trucks. You're going to start your day by having a good cup of coffee, right? Looking, maybe making sure that you're in positive mood, but you're going to start your day with updates. You're going to give updates to your brokers. Well, driver is on time for delivery today. Driver was unloaded, for example, right? You're going to give them updates. If it's a longer transit, you're going to say, well, we are on schedule. Here is the location of the driver. Why do you want to do that? Well, because you want to eliminate phone calls. That's first. Secondary, you want to build your relationship. So they love working with you, because are they going to love to work with Alex, who always gives them updates and taking care of the stuff? Or do they want to work with a dispatcher who never answer the phones? Or maybe you have 5-10 people in your office, and when you pick up the phone, you don't even have a clue which load they're talking about, right? Where is your driver? Because you don't even have access for logbook. So that's why we have professional brokers, professional dispatchers we have a successful owners of the trucking company, we have responsible drivers, and everybody else, right? Are we clear on this? And by me doing all this, I'm trying that we're gonna have more responsible people in this industry who knows what they're doing. But let's go back to Delta, right? So they are saying that carrier must notify broker 1 hour before detention charges begin to occur, right? That's what's Delta. I just copy whatever. If you see any mistakes, I just copy and paste from actually real rate confirmation. So Coyote, for example. Well, Coyote has a different policy for different loads, but their rate is the same for detention. So they have some loads which they're going to put right there. This shipper does not pay detention, or detention will start after 4. But look at this. They're paying $40 per hour for detention. And look at this. The maximum they're going to pay is $200. So what does it mean? Coyote does not pay for more than 5 hours. And to get detention, you need to make sure that you meet the requirements, right? You have to arrive at the time. You need to request detention within 24 hours. You need to provide paperwork within 24 hours. So guys, if you're not getting your detentions, you know why? Because most of you do not do your paperwork on time. Most of you don't even know that your driver is sitting there already and he passed detention. Because why? Because you're not building a successful team. So hopefully after today's video, you're gonna change the way you think, right? What is this? Hi, Jack. Just signed up for your November 13th class. Okay, can wait to start learning about the dispatch business. Yes, I saw your sign up. See you soon. Start getting ready with all those materials, please. And what time does your day start? Thank you for all your content. Again, it depends. If I already pre-book all my trucks, I don't start that early. I am not a person who likes wake up early. I work late. But since I'm dispatcher, I have to get up probably and start at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. If I have trucks on the East Coast, I usually pre-book them. East Coast, this is a totally different animal, as we say in USA. So I usually pre-book because nothing's really going to change. Just because of $100 more next day, I am not taking chances to stay there without the load. So my East Coast is always pre-booked. And when most of my trucks on West Coast, well, it's easier for me because I can slip in. But usually it does not take me that long to book my trucks. So when people ask me how long do you spend, and again, personally, I'm booking from 7 to 12 trucks a day, and we also have dispatch service. So I am overseeing, I'm solving some problems, I'm helping. So for me, 10 to 12 trucks, does not take more than 2.5 hours, and then I'm done. That's why I'm able to do all this lives, teach, and do all other things like factoring. I'm agent for the factoring and insurance. Okay, hi. Today at the receivers, they told me I have to come tomorrow because it was scheduled for tomorrow, but my dispatch told me it was for today. Who is responsible for this? Well, first of all, do you have the rate confirmation? What does your rate confirmation state? If your confirmation states that the load was scheduled to deliver today, then whose fault it is? Well, the broker is lying to you. If your dispatcher cannot provide you rate confirmation, which is kind of nonsense, all of this industry, you guys should be able to see screenshot, or if you are owner operator, you should have the full rate confirmation, then it's a broker. Again, what kind of facility? Did your dispatcher reach out to the broker? Did you reach out to the broker? Because sometimes, guys, I know as a driver, you think it's not your job, but do you want to sit there? Sometimes you will need to reach out to the broker and tell them what? Well, here's my load number. I check in and the appointment is not till tomorrow. Again, you have to use all your charm. And I am recommending for all the drivers, when you go check in, when you go to load or unload, please leave your ego in your truck, because I've seen it a lot. Sometimes drivers go to check in with attitude, and believe there's also human beings who may be not in a good mood today, right? Because they sit somewhere, they're getting paid $10, $12 per hour. Half of the people did not show up today for work, so some of them have to stay overtime. So when you come with a positive attitude and you say, hi, how are you? Please show them that, yes, you were supposed to unload. Try to talk to them, because you are there. You are there on their facility. So you kind of the first person who can solve this problem. Of course, maybe the lack of the English. Maybe you did not want to leave your ego and you just want to blame everybody. Then it's a second problem. Then your dispatcher should reach out to them and try. Of course, it depends on the facility, but still, it's always someone there. It's always somebody above, right? And you can just be honest and say, well, we have the load to pick up. I cannot stay here. Sometimes, yes, you're going to tell them, well, my EOD, I'm going to be out of the hours. So first you try to solve. But again, whose problem is this? If that was your dispatcher who did not hear correctly, that happens a lot too. Let's be honest. Dispatcher, especially with the lack of English, sometimes you don't hear it. When is it delivering? When is it picking up? You book the load, and instead of being honest that you made a mistake, you telling the lies. To whom? To your drivers. Well, that's broker's fault, right? So let's be back. Like 5 minutes ago, I admitted that was my mistake, that I did not call straight through receiver. I admitted it. I was too busy and I thought nothing can go wrong. But that was my mistake, because if I would call them, I would knew that that was already scheduled for tomorrow at 8 p.m., not for today, straight through. So lots of times, this is also dispatcher fault. And I hope that they are honest with you, because if they did not hear well, and if the rate confirmation states there that it's not delivered until tomorrow, nothing you can do. You're not going to get paid detention. You're not going to get paid layover. But if your dispatcher did their job and the broker really did not make appointment, then if you're going to stay there till tomorrow, we're not talking about detention. We are talking about layover. So before we're going to go to layover, I just would like to finish. Thank you for the question though. Okay. So let's look at this. So Coyote also told you how much they pay for detention. What else can you do? As a dispatcher, right? You can request detention. So today, for example, look at this. Total detention is 1 hour, 28 minutes. My driver checked in today at 12:10. His appointment was 12:30. They paid attention after 2 hours. So this is their app. It's already telling you that detention is 1 hour, 28 minutes. What will I need to do after we're going to deliver this load on Wednesday in Alabama? I'm going to go back to the app. I can email it, but actually I did book this load on the app. So market is strong today. $750, 750 miles load. Well, 3,900 for 10,000 candy load going to Alabama. This is pretty good money today. And it was booked where? On Coyote app, without even talking. Originally, they wanted to pay 29. I gave the offer for 4,000 and I end up with my high paying load within what? 10 seconds. They approved it, right? Well, when my driver is going to deliver on Wednesday morning, 6 a.m., when I am going to have POD, I'm going to attach this and request, again, detention. And as we know, Coyote pays what? $40 per hour. I have 1 hour and a half. So my detention is going to be what? $60. Even $60. Does it help the owner operator? Yes, $60 is still $60, right? It's a good steak dinner somewhere on a truck stop or whatever he needs to. I mean, it's still $60, right? How many trucks should we dispatch starting off as a new dispatcher? Well, I don't recommend to start with more than 2-3 trucks for the first 2-3 weeks. After 1 month, you should be at 4-5 for at least 2 months, and then 6-7. Again, big difference. If all of your equipment, for example, dry vans, that's one thing. But when they give you 2 dry vans, 1 reefer, 1 flatbed, and 1 box truck, guys, as a new dispatcher, this is gonna be mission impossible, right? Because you need to start with one type of equipment. You need to really learn the market. You need to know all the commodities. You need to know in and out. Then you can add different equipment. The easiest way to dispatch is a dry vans. Dry vans are easy. Why? Again, because of the shippers and receivers. Most of them first come, first serve. And in my class, you guys already know that means, for example, from 7 a.m. till 2. So you have a bigger window, right? So it's easier and it takes less time to load, unload. Reefers is more challenging, right? Because we're talking about temperature. We're talking about strict pickup, strict receiver. We have to deal with Americold, CNS, those cold storages. Believe me, they are very strict on their deliveries and appointments. So that's harder. Then step decks, flatbeds. There you need to know the dimensions. You need to know how to distribute the weight. Can you get the partials or not? So the easiest way to start with dry van. I'm a trucker and I was told for today. So you're a truck driver and you were told for today. Please ask your dispatcher to send you the real rate confirmation. And why don't you call the broker? Because you are the driver on the load. So you have all the rights to call the broker, tell them the load number, and ask why the shipper or receiver tells you that it's not put today. In your case, this is going to be receiver. So you check in because, again, you need to do your job. You need to start your detention as a driver, or you need to request your layover. If you don't make that phone call, and if your dispatcher is not going to make that phone call, what's going to happen? None of you are going to get compensated, okay? So let's continue. So again, this was Coyote. Are we done with detention? Yes. And again, this is the biggest delays in the industry, right? Because that's been reported to American Trucking Regulation Association, right? That we are, because of the detentions, because of the facilities taking a long time, it's affecting our transit because we have regulations and rules. We have hours of service, right? And many of you already know the rules, and probably we're going to do another live on HOS because it's still a big confusion for new dispatchers how to calculate the transit, how to know when you just hear the pickup delivery, if that delivery is possible by HOS of your driver, right? Let's go into layover. Wow, we already over the 1 hour. Times goes fast, huh? When we having fun. So again, what is a trucking layover? This is when you exceeding that 6-8 hours and you stay in there for next day. So in this case, for example, the driver, Shamirzayev. So the driver, Mr. Shamirzayev, he's probably is looking to get layover. Okay, so layover is not gonna be per hour. Remember, Mia asked us, they don't want to pay me detention for 15 hours. Again, detention is only going to be 6-8 hours, and then they start paying you layover. And it's kind of not fair, but the standards right now in the industry are very low. We still have a lot of brokers who only pay 150, some of them even just 100 for layover. most of them start paying $250 if it's still the next day, right? But I've seen that they are still taking advantage of the carriers and they're paying only $150. That's why it's better for them to pay you layover $150 than pay you per hour, right? 10-hour detention, 12-hour detention, 15-hour detention. So again, is trucking fair? No, trucking is not fair. Can we change it? Hopefully, guys. Look, how many of us are here in trucking? Maybe we can start bringing out these issues, right? And actually, you know what? I was thinking about it. I want to start doing live and I want to ask the drivers to give us like their view on some shippers and receivers. And we're going to be naming the worst shippers and receivers and the worst brokers who are lying to us and not paying us detention or layover or not making appointments. Because you know what? Everybody should know their names because they need to learn how to do this business honestly. Our drivers do not deserve to drive, for example, all night to come there. An appointment was not made by somebody who is not doing their job or by someone who is simply lying and blaming their schedule. They already knew appointment was next day, but they not telling you because again, what? Now you stuck. What can you do? Can Mr. Shamerzayev get rid of the cargo? No, it's in his truck. Now it's his liability. Even if he's just a driver, it's his company liability. That's why trucking is not fair. That's why, guys, I'm trying to fight against all this unfairness. And hopefully, guys, you can help me, right? Let's keep going. So, layover, right? So, the standards are from 100 to 250. Okay, what is tonneau? Now most of you have to understand. Tonneau, this is abbreviation for what? Truck ordered but not used. So that means that you booked the load, but you did not receive the commodities because it was canceled, right? So let's talk about this. Well, you book and load today. Let's say today is Monday. You book load at 8 o'clock. Load is picking up at 5 p.m. Your driver was dispatched. Your driver gets there and product is not going to be ready. Let's say he had it 150 miles because if you are really desperate dispatcher, your deadheads are enormous, right? Again, learn how to dispatch in the same city maximum 50 miles. Nobody pays for deadhead. Nobody cares. Plus, we need to make sure we make the transit, right? So what are we going to ask the broker? Do you have any reloads from the same facility? But we're going to organize our load board to see the closest facilities, the closest cities to pick up our next load. So let's say he drove 100 miles. He checks in and the product is not ready. And the broker simply tells you, okay, I'm going to give you truck order not used, $150. Is it fair? Dispatcher, you need to validate. Well, guys, if you drove at least 100 miles, it cannot be $150. You as a dispatcher have to tell them, well, we deadheaded, right? We need to be compensated at least $250, $350, right? But again, do brokers care how far are you? Not really. Whose job is this to find the closest loads possible? Yours, dispatchers. Okay, so in this case, you got your $150 if you're a desperate dispatcher. You got at least $250 if you're okay dispatcher. You got your $350 if you're a good dispatcher. And you have what? Relationship with this broker. Because some brokers, they don't care how good I am. They just not going to give that money. Doesn't matter how long I've been in business, how good my negotiation skills, right? So in this case, you got tonneau. Let's say you book the load on Saturday for Monday pickup at 5 p.m. The broker contacted you on Sunday or maybe Monday morning saying, you know what, Alex, actually it's going to be no go, right? They are canceling the load. If that's in the morning on Monday and I still have time to recover my truck, of course, nobody's going to pay Tono unless he knows me and we have a good relationship and he feels bad about this, he's going to give that $150. Lately, I've been seeing brokers canceling some of my loads. You know why? I can tell you why. Because I'm negotiating my loads and I get the more money out of them. And then we have 10 people who are calling them and they're booking the same loads way cheaper. Again, honesty in this business. Can I spot it? Yeah, with some brokers, I can spot it. What do? Well, one day they will need my trucks, right? So what's going to happen? Well, Alex is going to give them the speech and say, sorry, no truck for you. But usually, after you've been in business for a while, you're going to build a bond with some brokers and they're not going to do it for you. But do they have a lot of brokers who are going to cancel load on you because they found somebody else who is taking it cheaper? Yes, happening every day. Again, in this case, you're not going to get paid. They cancel before you can recover, right? And especially your truck did not really go anywhere. They did not even move. People say, well, TQL never pays. Well, I had TQL pay me $250 because the load was not ready. They had a problem with loading equipment. My truck did not even move because he was actually delivering to the same facility. After an hour, we realized that it's going to be no-go. He was in Washington. I did cover my truck really fast for even more than TQL was giving me before. Did the broker pay? Yes, they paid $250. Again, why? Because we have a good brokers in different companies. Doesn't matter. TQL, Coyote, CH Robinson, they also have a good people who've been doing it for a while and who understand that sometimes it has to be honest in this business, right? And people need to be compensated. Okay, so truck order not used. For everybody who doesn't speak English and you see the tonu, that's what it means. And in this case, what are you going to write? Well, you're going to write, please, dear Mike, send me tonu since the load was canceled or the product is not ready. And it's up to you to ask for more money. If you guys do not ask for more money, do you think that they're just gonna give it to you money? No. So you need to validate. At least you have to try. Okay. So, what is the industry standard for tunnel? We already said 150 to 250. Lately, it's been 250. It's used to be 150 for a long time. Let's think about this. Another things that some of the new dispatchers do not understand. What is P&D? Well, P&D, this is pickup and delivery. What is LTL and TL? Well, TL, that means less than truckload or partial, right? And TL means it's a full truckload. What is a dedicated load? Sometimes it can be only 5 pallets, but it's booked as a dedicated. In this case, it's going to be full truckload only, even if it's 1 or 2 pallets, because they sold it to you as a full truckload. So if you book the truck with 3 pallets and the broker paid you as a dedicated truck, is it legal to go and start putting all the partials and everything else? Well, no, it's not legal. You should not do that. But again, let's be realistic. How many carriers do that? They do that. So they're going to put partials, right? Pay attention, please, guys. If you're dealing with reefers, it's going to become a nightmare because you have -10, you have 0, you have +20. So a lot of times, unless you are consolidating and you have warehouses, then yes, you can do that. We have a lot of big carriers who have 40, 50, 60 trucks, right? And what do? They have warehouses. They have guys going and picking up all those partials or loads which booked as a dedicated and they put them on one truck. Legal? In some cases, if they are partials, yes, legal. But when they're not partials, illegal. Do people do this? Yes, they do this. Are they going to catch up to them sometimes? Yeah, sometimes they're going to have a claim. Sometimes the broker not going to pay them because they are late for the delivery because by the time they pick up all the partials, or the dispatcher did not really calculate how it's going to go, right? Sometimes you're going to get held in your partial delivery, and now you are late to your AmeriCold, so you're going to have the late fees. So to deal with consolidation, you need to be very, very smart and logistically wise. Plus, you need to understand liability in this case. Okay, TL, LTL, what else? And some of you gonna see this, FCL and LCL. So what does it mean? Full container load and less than container load. So that's just some things that I was preparing for you today. Well, let's see if we have any questions, and we guys going to be done. Hold on, save. Let me just show you this, guys. For everybody who's still looking to sign up for classes, you can find us on learndispatchtoday.com, not tomorrow, not yesterday. We have all the registration done here. We have dispatch training, we have trucking safety, IFTA. We're gonna have the webinar, right? Remember, if you're looking to open your own trucking company, $199, 3 hours, hands-on training with all the links, with me explaining to you step by step. So you're gonna save a lot of money, and you're gonna understand liability. So a lot of things gonna go here. BOC3, MC, USDOT, IFTA account, permits, Kentucky, New Mexico, everything else. Plus, you're gonna learn how to run this business, what has to be done, clearinghouse, drug and alcohol program, hiring, rehiring. What is your responsibility as owner of the company? Again, most of you are here. Please make sure you subscribe and join our membership. It's only $3.99 per month. That's why, guys, we're doing this intense videos, and we stay saving them for you guys to rewatch. I do believe we give you a lot of knowledge, so please support us. $3.99 a month, it's nothing compared to the things we can do. We already been awarding free classes, and we are helping other people who are underprivileged to get their classes from us for free. Let's see what else. Which have in our see. Okay, a few more questions, and we will be done. Did you had any tonal load on which you having a rate confirmation, but broker dispatcher doesn't want to pay you? But broker's dispatcher doesn't want to pay you, and he is stolen the payment for 2-3 months. Yes, sometimes they do not pay. If we did not drive, sometimes they say it's no toll. If that's, for example, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm in a strong area and I can recover my truck, and my driver did not drive yet and it was canceled, well, good luck to me. I'd better know how to recover my truck. But usually they will pay you tonal. Again, it's up to your dispatcher, their negotiation skills, and being on time with the request, right? What else? Thank you so much for all you do. I can wait till class on the 13th. Oh, our goddess red wine. I believe this is our winner of the free class, right? I believe so. So she was awarded a free class because she did all the steps. She subscribed to our website. She follows our YouTube. She watches our lives. She's sharing them. And then she wrote us the letter. That's why she won the free class. Some people asking me, how can I get a free class? Well, you need to show us some love and do those steps, right? And then we're going to go through the list, and we have a bunch of people, and it's just randomly, or something which is really touches my heart, or I am just picking from the jar. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And what else? Ma'am, do your dispatch classes cover teaching all types of equipment, flatbed, reefer, drive, and step deck? Yes, we do cover all of those equipment. Negotiation, setting up, running your dispatch service, being a company dispatcher, and everything else. Our classes are very intense, hands-on. Thank you for answering all the questions. Cannot wait to talk to you on Wednesday. Oh, hi, Mia. Oh, you booked a private consultation. Okay, sounds good. Again, for people who are already in business, for people who are struggling with some of the ideas, you can always book consultation with me and you can have your questions answered. Here you go. So our services right here. So we have personal business consultation. It's $149 for an hour. Usually it doesn't go an hour, it goes longer because I want to make sure that person is getting all the answers from me. And don't forget, mentorship on Tuesdays, right? Tomorrow is our day. So for my students right now, if you did not sign up, it's actually time to sign up. And tomorrow we're going to talk about drive-in challenges. So see, we have a different subject. This is for our students and this is for non-students. It's another 2 and 3 hours of the live class where you can ask me questions when I am teaching the subject, and then we're talking about this. Then you get all the PDFs, and this is a great time to catch up on some things, to listen to other students. Right now in our mentoring, we have, in the current one, we have 20 very goal-oriented people. And yes, Crystal, thank you again. Great lives as always. And I'll see you tomorrow, Crystal, in mentoring, because she is one of my stars. She knows that she needs to learn a little bit more than just basic strong foundation, because she's on a mission to become a queen of trucking. Right? Right, Crystal. Well, thanks, guys, again. Make sure you share our videos. Make sure you put the likes so we can spread our knowledge to everybody else. Thanks again. I'm not going to see you next Monday. I will be traveling to New York, but I might pre-record my stream if I have time. If not, then I'll see you in 2 weeks. And for my members, starting tomorrow, everybody who is a member on our YouTube channel for $3.99, I am start putting all the videos about load boards. So tomorrow I'm going to start with a TQL, 10-15 minutes on TQL. Then Coyotes, then XPO, then Convoy, all of the load boards which I'm working with every day or every other day, I am going to be posting the video for our members. This is our appreciation back to people who support us. Unfortunately, this is not going to be available for everyone, just for members only. Thanks again. Have a good night. Thanks for everything. Thank you, guys. Without you, I cannot do it. And again, just a reminder, we start in class November 13th. And I did add 10 spots because it's the last class for this year. I know some people really want to get in. It's going to be not easy for me, but I added 10 more spots. So please still sign up. You still have time to prepare. And again, if you need that power board, make sure you use our code to get the free months. I'll see you soon, guys. Love you, and hopefully I'll see you on a webinar, how to open trucking